Hello, this is the first day of the new year. Happy New Year. I go by the name of Oreo 1955. Today, I would like to address two topics that black people, so-called educated black people, and sometimes not so educated, they keep referring to, and I have problems with it. The first one has to do with black people who keep saying that life in general was a lot better in America because children were forced to play in school. Whenever things go bad with society, children are always the first ones to blame because they are the most defenseless. Now, black people, I don't know what the problems are, if they just cannot think or they allow their emotions to take over their common sense, and they say things without thinking. They say things, and even after they say these things, if they were to just check, backtrack a little bit, and ask yourself, did I just say something that makes sense or not? And then they would investigate what they just said and maybe not say it again. But they don't do that. They just keep on repeating the same stupid things over and over and over. Because whenever I hear a black person say that things were better when children were being forced to play in school, I ask myself as well, what time period are these people talking about? And then the first thing that comes to mind is I don't know exactly when the Supreme Court ruled on the separation of church and state, or if they ever did, because maybe I should have made some research before I started this video, but it's too late now. I keep thinking about a time period when blacks were held as slaves, blacks were being tortured, killed, maimed, sometimes boiled alive. I mean, all types of tortures that you can, getting hung, and all these things actually were legal. You were not breaking the law when you did these things. And for a black person, either not to be aware of his or her history or refusing to put what he or she is saying in the context of history is both stupid and treacherous to me because you are betraying your history, you are betraying the people who came before you and who suffered, really suffered. And if things were, if playing in school, if children being forced to play in school uh, is the answer to what is ailing our society, then why were things so bad back then while children were being forced to play in school? Why why was so much violence being perpetrated against black people by adults? It's always children who have to fix things for adults. It doesn't make sense, fucking adults, stupid, and they always blaming children for what's going on. Anyway, I'll leave that alone for now and jump to my next topic. My next topic has to do with black people who keep saying that we would have been better off remaining segregated from the rest of the population, from white people. That if we had remained segregated, we would be much farther ahead. I mean, how can you? I mean, it's just like saying that, well, if I had taken this route, I would not have gotten into the accident that I got into when I went that route. How the hell do you know what would have happened? I mean, when you say that we should have remained segregated, you are saying that if we had as a people remained segregated from white people, that we will have today better school systems, better healthcare, a better police department, better fire department, better everything, as if a separate black nation is something that's possible living right next to America. I mean, where would you have this nation? We had a civil war in this country because white Americans were trying to separate themselves from the country. Can you imagine what the white government of the United States would have done if black people tried to establish a separate black country from the United States of America? What type of mind would imagine that something like that is even remotely possible? And like I said, these are the things that are coming out of the mouths of educated. It just goes to show that just because you have a little bit of education doesn't mean that you can think. It is not the fault of people like Martin Luther King and other people who fought for integration. It is not their fault that we have not made more progress. It is the generations that came after these people who dropped the ball. Just because you are frustrated and you don't know what to do in order to make things better doesn't mean that you can go back and say, well, the people who gave up their lives for what is presently happening, that they were wrong. It doesn't make sense, and it will never make sense. So there are many, many things that black people say that just are so vile and disgusting. I don't have enough time to deal with these two topics, but next time I post a video, I'm going to put one about black people who say that slavery was the result of Africans selling other Africans to white people as slaves. Stupid, disgusting thing that black people should not be saying. And black people who are comparing the warmonger in the White House, whose skin color happens to be black, and his name is Barack Obama, which is just nothing. It means nothing what your skin color is or what your name is. You're just a man who, just a man. And for some reason, they are comparing him to Martin Luther King just because they both happen to have a little bit of melanin, you know, in their genes just because they both happen to have a similarity when it comes to skin color or hair texture. And I'll be addressing these two issues, and I'll try to keep them short, and I hope that I've made myself understood here. Okay, folks. Uh, Talk to you later. Bye.